Hey, what's going on? It's Stokely from Sauce on Dulé. I'm going to talk about a topic I don't really have much knowledge in, but what's different than my regular conversations. Unless I'm speaking to an expert, most times I'm just freestyling. Anyhow, so I was watching YouTube the other day, and an ad came up where a doctor who is also, a founder of her own set of, I believe, nutraceuticals or therapy or hormone therapy. She's putting a whole spin on hormone therapy. But there's another doctor that I do follow on Instagram who has done the thing that I'm going to discuss. So when it comes to hormone replacement therapy, you got guys, we take testosterone for the most part, and that's probably about it. But when it comes to hormone replacement therapy for women, they prescribe testosterone, they prescribe estrogen also, and they may prescribe something else. It's a whole bunch of, the male testicles, regarding sex hormones. Male testicles make testosterone, and that's just about it for the most part. DHT, whatever, which is another testosterone. But a woman's body makes testosterone, and it makes estrogen, and it makes progesterone. Probably makes some other stuff too. So anyhow, when it comes to taking medications or supplements or whatever, we mainly take them orally, or we'll take them intravenous, or we take them, on the surface of our skin. Probably the most. But I don't know. But there's also suppositories. Now, traditionally, I've known suppositories to be applicable to the rectum. But there are also vaginal suppositories. So I saw the phrase vaginal suppository somewhere, because I was stretching to find out what's the name for a vaginal suppository, because my default word association with suppository is a drug that's applied to the rectum, but I think they call it vaginal suppositories. So this doctor that I saw on YouTube, let me see if I can find her name. I mean, it doesn't really matter what her name is, but it just gives validity to, I would think it gives a little validity to what I'm saying. The fact, if I'm able to locate her. Hopefully the thing doesn't shut off while I'm trying to look for her. Let's see, hold on. Let's see what happens, okay? See what happens. My sound shouldn't be on my Instagram, so it shouldn't cut off. But who knows? We'll see. It's loading up. I'm in a bad reception area right now. But anyhow, the doctor, and I don't want to miss anything, the doctor had an ad on YouTube about vaginal suppositories. She didn't use that phrase, but she was making a convincing argument, basically, that, let's see if I can find it, making a convincing argument that okay, I can't find it now. I'm not gonna wait, let's see. I'm not gonna be able to find it because it's too far back in my history. Oh, maybe not. Hold on. Let's see. Nope, not gonna be able to find it. I'm sorry. So, what's going on is, the doctor was saying vaginally applied suppositories bypass the liver and go straight into the bloodstream, right? Vaginally applied suppositories bypass the liver and go straight into the bloodstream. Now there's a like I said, there's a doctor I follow online. She's not a urologist though, but she was giving her nighttime routine regarding her whatever she does, you know, all the hormone replacement that she does, and she takes some pills orally, and then she has one pill that she applies as a vaginal suppository, right? And then I just saw this ad saying that it bypasses the liver. Now, from my conversation with the founder of Flower Girl, who makes renewable fabric menstrual underwear and pads, all made of fabric, right? Through my conversations with Flower Girl, you can go look up that interview, or you can look her up, flowergirl.co. From my conversations with her, she told me that the vagina is 8 times more absorbent than the skin, you know, that covers the visible parts of our body. 8 times more absorbent, right? So it makes sense that these vaginally applied suppositories would so readily absorb into the body. So what that got me thinking now is, no wonder AIDS transmission primarily, you know, the transmissibility to women is so much greater. And especially in the case where there is ejaculation inside of the vagina, that just multiplies the transmissibility of AIDS and HIV and pathogens and whatever sexually transmitted diseases and whatever the case may be in the case of ejaculation, right? That's why condoms are so important in non-monogamous, non-committal, even in monogamous committal situations. It may still be required just to protect the woman, because she has a way more absorbent surface area. And I was thinking also about circumcision, in that the head of the penis is relatively absorbent. I would think it's almost as absorbent. And if a man is circumcised, now that absorbent surface is always exposed, versus when he is circumcised, he has a little bit more coverage. But they're both still very absorbent. But the surface area of the head of the penis versus the surface area of the internal of the vagina is, I don't know, I would say more than 10 times this surface area, maybe more. Yeah, it's got to be at like 10, 15 times the amount of surface area. So the amount of exposure that a woman gets during a sexual interaction is, and I don't even like to use that word, but is many times more, much more exposure. Okay. Now moving away from that, what I was also thinking about is the recent linkage or linking of hair relaxers to uterine cancers, right? Especially in the black community where hair relaxers are used a lot. Uterine cancers, right? So when you think about it, when you're in the shower, taking a shower, you're washing your hair, everything runs down. And then you got, you know, your crevices, and you got places where the water channels into and runs off of, and all that stuff, right? These same products are running over the mammary glands. These same products are running over the labia, clitoris, right? These same chemicals that were just in your hair products, the same chemicals that are in your soap products, the same chemicals that are in your shampoo, your hair dye, all of these things. They're just washing down your body. I mean, you know, question though is does it bioaccumulate? You know, is it lipophilic, which is a word I just learned? Our body uses fats to do a lot of stuff. Our body uses fats to do a lot of stuff, right? To make hormones, make energy, whatever. So lipophilic means attracted to fat, attracted to lipids, right? So I'm doing a little research about BHT, BHA, and TBHQ, and I'm trying to find out if they attach to our cholesterol in our body, our lipids, right? Because if they attach to that, then it's gonna be absorbed into our body. And our body has this thing called a lipid barrier. I think I'm using the right word. A lipid barrier. Our body uses fats to eliminate certain things from penetrating. But what is it eliminating from penetrating? It's eliminating what is it? Hydrophilic, phobic, lipophobic things. Philic is mean you like it. Phobic means you don't like it. So the lipophobic stuff, like water and oil don't mix, water and fats don't mix. Fat isn't exactly oil. From my limited understanding, a lipid is glycerin plus triglycerides. And I believe triglycerides are made up out of omega fatty acids, like oils. Okay. Anyhow, you can correct me whenever you wish. So our body naturally can reject water soluble things. It can bounce back and reject water soluble things. You can reject water soluble things. Okay. But what about things that are soluble in fats? I would think those things are more likely to penetrate the skin. You know, that's my thinking. Anyhow, so you're there. You're putting hair relaxers in your hair. You're putting styling gel in your hair. You're putting all kind of stuff in your hair. Putting dye in your hair. Putting hairspray in your hair. Aerosols and preservatives and all kind of unnatural lab creations in your hair, right? Putting all those things in your hair. Then you want to go take a shower and wash your hair. Let's say you don't go to the salon, you go wash your hair. So it's either these things is additionally they're already being absorbed into your scalp, but okay, a lot of people not getting scalp related issues because the hair on the scalp maybe not as absorbent, maybe isn't as absorbent. We're always like pushing out sebum through our scalp, so I don't know, maybe it's not as absorbent, maybe, right? But recall the conversation with Flower Girl's founder. Her name escapes me right now, I'm sorry. The vagina is 8 times more absorbent than the skin on the other parts of our body. So when we're going to the shower and shampooing our hair and all of that is running down all over our body. And in my early investigation into hair loss, I encountered some writings that say conditions like bacne, when you have acne on your back, is due to some of the shampoos you could be using on your head, giving you a reaction on your back, right? So if that is true, then it is definitely possible for the labia, clitoris, vagina to be affected by the products in our hair Buy hair products. I don't have those parts. Buy hair products, right? Buy the perfumes. We're starting to learn. I hope everybody's hearing about the perfumes being toxic, right? The phthalates, the preservatives, These things are preservatives with the intention of preserving oils, preserving the essential oil scents. Some of them are totally synthetic, but these things are lipophilic. They love to attach to fat cells. What's an area that has a large deposit of fat cells? The breasts, right? And the breasts have these absorbent areoles, if I'm using the right word, right? They have the areoles that are pretty absorbent. From my limited understanding, the areoles link back to the duct in the breast that has the milk in it, right? So it's an entry point, Now we make sure to close our eyes and close our mouth, I guess, when we're washing ourselves. I don't know if it's affecting our eyes. I don't know if it's affecting our digestive system. But I'm making a far out connection. Maybe it's a far out connection. That these cosmetics, these plant extract cosmetics that our bodies are not able to process, break down, or keep out, can potentially have an effect and cause other conditions. But I gotta look into it. I did a post maybe 2-3 years ago about the link between hair relaxers and cancer in black women, especially uterine cancer. I think it was linked to uterine cancer. So let's think about that. How does it get all the way over to the uterus? Where's the entry point? How does it get there? How is it getting there? Is it getting there through the scalp? I don't believe it's getting there through the scalp. I think it's getting through a closer location. Maybe it's going through the navel. They say don't play with your navel. Well, my mother says don't play with my navel. And I think she's right, because sometimes I used to try to clean my navel too much and then it'll hurt for days. So don't mess with your navel. Maybe it's going through the navel. I don't know. Our navel is connected to our intestines from the time when our mother was feeding us through our intestines. From my limited understanding, I'm not sure. I think the navel connects to the intestines. Is it perpetually connected to your intestines? I guess so. Isn't that cool? Isn't God great? We have a navel. I've seen navels on dogs and cats and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, they got a navel too. Oh, that's amazing. We all connected to our moms. Anyhow. It's giving me puppy fever right now. I'm gonna go get a puppy now. Not gonna do that though. But what do I want to say? I want to say be careful about the products that you're putting in your hair. You just need a simple shampoo. What I've been using recently is Dr. Bronner's unscented shampoo. It's called something like Baby Soft or something like that. I've been using Dr. Bronner's unscented soap, body wash, whatever you want to call it, because it doesn't seem to irritate my eyes. It doesn't have a strong smell. I don't particularly like strong smells. I'm sorry about the noisiness. Now I'm going on a road that's all bumpy. But so that's really all I wanted to say, because I heard the lady talk about the vaginal suppositories. I heard flowergirl.co in our interview Her name is Arielle Loupus. Arielle Loupus. Okay, I'm sorry. Now I remember her name. My brain still works. Arielle Loupus. Okay, that's her name. She's the founder of Flower Girl. So she said the vagina is 8 times more absorbent than the skin on the rest of our body. If that's the case, you know what? Maybe what you should do, I mean, if you don't want to stop using the products, maybe what you could do is wash your hair first, then tie the hair up, then take the shower. Not wash your hair afterwards. I don't know. That's how I do it anyway. I wash my hair first, then I exfoliate my face and wash that. Then after that, I shower the rest of my body. And then I save my anus for last. like Borat would say, right? So I save that for last. And then I basically hand wash my washcloth with some soap and then put it on the rack to dry out. You know? So, yeah, just be careful about, you know, the hair straighteners, the phthalates, the hair dyes, and all these other products that we're using in our hair. They're trickling right back down to our back, giving us back knee. Not guaranteed, not 100%. You know what I'm saying? They're trickling down to our penises. Some penises are unsheathed. Some penises are hooded. They're trickling down to our labia, clitoris, vagina, and they're being absorbed into our bodies, you know. So we gotta be careful. We gotta be careful. And I'll just close with some not so pleasant blah blah blah. I was watching a Instagram video, and a guy who deals with security, and he's like a security guy. Not a security guard, but he's a guy he's like a security consultant. He says if you see $20 on the ground, don't just pick it up because somebody, or you see some money on the ground or something on the ground, or somebody tries to hand you a card, don't just take the card or pick up whatever the case may be, because it may be coated with some kind of sedative, maybe even fentanyl, and this sedative may absorb into your skin through your fingers and cause you to pass out, and then you may be potentially, I think I went the wrong way, and then you may be no, I'm going in the right direction. You may be potentially taken away by whoever set that trap for you. So things can be absorbed through your skin. They keep saying, and I don't know how valid this is, that fentanyl can be absorbed into your skin. So if our skin can absorb all kind of stuff like that, and it get to our brain to the point where we pass out and affects our organs, everything that we interact with has that potential. I've seen posts that also say if you hold one of these thermal receipts for, I don't know, 10 seconds, it loads you up with estrogen mimickers. So when I go to the stores and I buy anything, I just say no receipt, no receipt, no receipt. I don't want any estrogen in my body right now. I don't want it. I'm trying to boost testosterone. I'm trying to boost libido. I'm trying to boost, all of that masculine energy right there. I'm really not trying to absorb any forever chemicals or any phthalates or any BHT, BHA, TBHQ. I don't want it. Even though I eat TBHQ because it's something they put in the canola oil and something they put in the olive oil also. Anyhow, but I'll just be talking on and on and on forever, not saying much of anything, but I just want to say be careful about these products. It's not just a willy-nilly, do whatever you want type of situation. Please try to use quality products that are not toxic, clean stuff. Even some of the people who purport to have clean products have like I just got, somebody gave me a lotion, a body butter, and the ingredients in the body butter is organic shea butter, safflower oil, mango butter, grape seed oil, aloe butter, cocoa butter. I don't know how you can make aloe butter because there's no oil in aloe vera really. It's 99.9% water. But aloe butter, cocoa butter, beeswax, vanilla oil, that's good, and fragrance oil. Fragrance oil is the last component, means it's the most minimally added thing, so it should be kind of relatively safe. But fragrance oil could be anything. Could be a totally synthetic, phthalate ridden thing. But hey, I gotta see this guy right here before he goes to the building. Hey, thanks for listening. Bye.